Ben Rolland Igbakpa. I represent Ethiope East, Ethiope West, and by the grace of God, we are from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, my motion is on the incessant killing, banditry, kidnapping, and destruction of farmlands in Ethiope Federal Constituency of Delta State. The House notes that Ethiope Federal Constituency, made of Ethiope East and Ethiope West, is a linear settlement along the shores of River Ethiope, and is a predominantly an agrarian constituency, well known for the production of all staple food derived from cassava, plantain, and yam. Also note that Delta State University is situated in Igbakpa, Ethiope East local government, which has enabled many of the lecturers engaged in farming on part-time basis. Further note that between 2014 and 2018, a total of 36 persons were killed, including 4 lecturers, in their own farmland by herdsmen. In this year, 2019, a total of 8 persons has been gruesomely murdered for daring to insist that the herdsmen should not graze on their farm, of which not a single prosecution of the culprits to serve as deterrent has been recorded. Further note that on Saturday, 12 July 2019, the entire local government of Ethiope East woke up into mourning and grief as their farmland of over 100 hectares being cultivated with cassava, yam, maize, and plantain was burned out in ruin by these daredevil herdsmen, bearing arms and threatening to deal with anybody who come around to challenge them, with the claim that they owe the country even if they are in Delta State. It is worthy of note, Mr. Speaker, that Obre village in Delta and Ewosi village, which is a border town to Edo and Delta State, have been forcefully abandoned by the communities to herdsmen to enable them carry out their activities for fear of the indigenous life due to incessant killing of these people and destruction of their crops. The continuing nomadic activities in these communities of Igbakpa, Eku, and Enviro for grazing are a total call for anarchy. Resolved, all the security agencies, the Nigerian Army, the police, DSS, and the civil defense security should, as a matter of urgency, midwife a meeting of stakeholders in Ethiope Federal Constituency and leaders of the herdsmen to douse the tension and find a lasting solution to this recurrent security milieu. Also urge the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and the National Orientation Agency to enlighten herdsmen to endeavor to limit grazing where allowed to bushes and not cultivated land with blooming crops. Further urge the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and National Orientation Agency to advocate the need for herdsmen to understand that ranching should be a compulsory component of cattle rearing in Nigeria in the interest of peace and host community. Further urge the security agencies to ensure the criminalization of open grazing to the extent of its effect on security of life, property, and food production, except where laws have been enacted to promote such open grazing. Also note that the National Emergency Agency and other regulatory agencies, to, as a matter of urgency, provide food items and relief materials to the identified farmers who are victims of this wanton destruction, pending when the government will provide the requisite security guarantee for them to return to their farm settlement. And finally, Mr. Speaker, to urge the police and army to increase the patrol of the Sapele, Ogara, Igbakpa route to curb the activities of these bandits. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move.
For some time now, they've been attacking farmers for daring to stop them, because at times you can't really walk. I'm a village boy. I grew up raised by peasant farmers who are my parents, and I know what it takes to be into farming, and for somebody to come and destroy it. Cattle rearing is like any other business. It's a private business, and I believe that anybody that is going into business should be ready to cater for it. So the essence of the motion is to stop the killing of my constituents and stop them from destroying their farmlands and their crops, stop them from the banditry that they are doing. But because apart from killing and destruction of these farmland, they are actually kidnapping people. Women are raped every day. Imagine the trauma of a mother, a sister, a wife being raped, and at times they pay the ultimate price again by killing them after doing that to them. A father that goes to farm only to get to the farm, maybe by 6 p.m., 7 p.m. he's not coming back, and he's been killed because cattle is eating what they have grown over the period, and somebody's trying to stop them. I'm from a state, and we have spoken loud and clear. We don't have land for Ruga. Cattle rearing is like any other business, like I said. I think what any cattle rearer should be thinking about is ranching. Get a place, confine your animal. For me, as Commissioner for Transport in Delta State, despite the fact that, yes, there's joblessness and there's unemployment everywhere in the country, young men took to Okada riding. But when we discovered that Okada riding is not helping our people, instead our people are being maimed, people are using to rob, we decided as a government to ban the use of Okada and restrict them to certain areas. So I think the cattle rearing should be restricted to their ranches. Whosoever want to buy should go there to buy. You don't have to bring your cattle, overrun my farm. Imagine how long it takes to till, to start. You have to clear, you have to till the ground, you have to plant. It grows into a blooming crop, and somebody just come overnight and overrun the entire. In Abraka, a lot of people have been killed. In Eku, people have been killed. In Ogara, where I come from, and Jesemo, so guys everywhere. So the motion is about trying to sensitize the National Orientation Agency and the police to step up their game, because we must agree that our security infrastructure has totally fallen apart. Well, that is why our own is to speak, and when we speak, when we take this resolution, it is communicated to the appropriate quarters, because if urgent step is not taken, the people will have no choice than to resort to self-help. And you know, self-help is a recipe for anarchy. I believe that if discussed, both the herders and the farmers will know where their rights end. By moving this motion, I am very, very aware of Section 33, one of our Constitution, the Nigeria Constitution, 1999, as amended. And I'm also aware of Section 41 of the Constitution that allows people freedom of movement and to settle anywhere in the country. But for this, that Section 41, when you have that privilege, you cannot usurp that privilege because you're allowed to go to a place there. You are taking someone's life. And even at Section 35 of the Constitution, it allows for liberty. But today, our people don't have liberty. They can't even leave their houses again. They can't go to their farm. Some settlements have been abandoned. Some communities are now just for the cattle rearers. I can't imagine a stranger come and take over my father's land. That is unacceptable. And that is what we are saying, that the government should step up before it gets too late for the people to take laws into their hand and start helping themselves.